I'm John Cavelli from the Hardbot Messengers, and I am interviewing today my very special friend, Dave Casper from Jake's Leg. Dave, thanks so much. Thanks so much for doing this interview. Why don't you just say hello to everybody?
Hello, it is Dave Casper. I'm here with my friend John, and we're happy to be here, and hopefully we can shed some light on what's been happening in the history of Jake's Leg.
So Jake's Leg has been around for almost 50 years.
That's right.
In St. Louis,
That's right.
but lots of places.
Yeah.
When you first started, were you just playing in St. Louis?
Yes.
Or were you traveling? When did you start traveling around?
That would have been probably 5 or 6 years in. Chicago, Kansas City. We did some stuff in Springfield. Stayed in the area. We've basically stayed in the area other than a big show we do annually in Colorado. Mm-hmm. It's a fellow's farm. Mm-hmm. He brings us up there, and so that's been a lot of fun.
What was the impetus? What got you guys playing Grateful Dead music? Like, why did you start playing Grateful Dead music?
It's a great question. I hope I have a good answer. I stumbled along in 50 years ago, 49 years ago. The band originated with 2 players, Randy, who is still the rhythm guitar player and lead singer, and a fellow named Tim Fay. Those 2 were a duo, and they played some Grateful Dead, but a lot of Simon and Garfunkel, a lot of, trying to think of a few other things, John Sebastian, things like more acoustic driven, more pop driven. Mm-hmm. So that was their jam back then when there was 2 of them. I went to see them play, and I had been in another band, and I said, hey, would you guys mind if I sat in sometime? Uh-huh. Sure. So the next night I brought my guitar. I can't remember where the venue was. And we played, I'll never forget, we played Eyes of the World. And I don't remember the other song, but those were the 2 songs, both were Grateful Dead. Uh-huh. And they knew some Grateful Dead. Obviously they had to play Eyes of the World. And
right.
So from there, it's interesting, we were almost manipulated by the crowd into playing Grateful Dead. They started going, the applause was so much more enthusiastic when we would do a Dead song. Then we'd do, Simon and Garfunkel song, great stuff. But it didn't get the same reaction. So as time went, we started seeing, we need to play more Grateful Dead, And we enjoyed the music too, but to get those reactions from the crowd was a pretty big deal for a little couple of people, late teenagers back in the day, early 20s.
So the Grateful Dead music was eliciting bigger response.
That's right.
Wow.
That's right.
Okay.
And then from there, obviously we enjoyed it as much, and so then it took off from there.
Yeah. And had you seen the Grateful Dead live at that point? Or
yes.
You had?
Yes. Only a few times.
Okay.
I was not someone who traveled to see them. We were busy playing, probably I've seen them maybe 50 times, which is enough to really get a clean look at what they did live and the crowd and the energy.
Yeah.
In fact, I saw the second to last show before Garcia passed.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
So your 50 times seeing the Dead, was that throughout time, or was it all generated? Was it all in a certain decade, or was it spread out?
It was spread out.
Okay.
Yeah. A long spread.
Okay.
We were playing stuff that we enjoyed personally,
Yeah.
and fortunately enough, the people responded to that.
Yeah.
So it was sort of a collective there.
Right. And 20 North. So how did 20 North come about?
Boy, there's an iconic venue that is, it's hard to even put into words how that evolved. Randy Fear the lead singer, rhythm guitar player, owned the venue. He owned 20 North. So that made it, we could pretty much do what we wanted as far as Jake's Leg. We could play there 4 nights a week, we could play there 2 nights a week. We chose to play 2 nights a week, every, I believe it was every Thursday, Friday. Then on Saturdays we would play other venues. So we played for back in 80s and 90s, we were playing regular 3 nights a week. That was our steady deal. So 20 North was sort of evolved, just like when we played more Grateful Dead, it evolved slowly. People, I mean, that was an iconic bar, and it was right near SLU campus. So we had a lot of people from out of town that were there going to school from different cities, and they would come down and see us. So that's partly how the word sort of spread in other cities, because they were there going to school there, and they came down and checked out. So that was a big part of why it expanded.
I see.
That kind of makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sure does. Kind of like, did you ever play the quad at WashU?
Yes, played the quadrangle quite a bit.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I bet that was a neat atmosphere there.
It was.
People dancing, that's definitely a part of the shows, right?
Absolutely.
Do you ever play concert style shows where there's not dancing, that they're just sitting, or?
Yes. One venue in particular, they don't allow, it's a seated venue, they don't allow you to get up and dance. Actually, there's 2. One is the Wildie, and that's in, where am I thinking of this? It's in Illinois.
Yeah, I think is it Edwardsville?
Edwardsville.
Or Collinsville?
No,
I always get those 2 mixed up. Edwardsville. Yeah. So Wildie in Edwardsville is a sit-down
place. That's right. And then in St. Louis, Focal Point, there's no getting up and dancing there, seated only.
Okay.
And we do our only acoustic shows there. That's our one venue that we play. We probably do it once or twice a year where we do the acoustic shows there.
So how do those shows differ in terms of the energy that you get from the audience? Is it different when they're not dancing? When they're just sitting there, is the vibe different for you, and how does that affect the way you guys play, or does it?
That's a great question, and to answer that is, I have to answer it almost out of both sides of my mouth.
Sure.
We're so lucky. That's just the truth. We're very fortunate to have found a niche that has become very popular, and we've had a nice long run, and we're fortunate. I don't want to say a lot of that was done by design, and oh man, we planned this out, look how it went. I think that when we do a show like Focal Point, it is very different to have people sitting and it be more of a concert atmosphere. The energy is different. We try and bring on the same, Jake's Leg show. It's harder because they are sitting and we don't have that interaction with the dancing and that energy. Same with the Wildie. But the Wildie's a pretty big venue. That's about the size of the old Rock House. So to have that many people seated, it's dramatically different vibe,
Yeah.
You feel like they're just watching you,
Yeah.
Whereas at other venues, they're up dancing,
Right.
half a dozen people might be really paying attention.
Yeah.
Kidding. And the music is a collective, definitely. That whole group of people up there, keyboards have always been a big part of what I respond to. Obviously Garcia, tracking what he's doing, but of course it's not just about Jerry, it's about the collective. Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you quickly here, all my friends in high school, they were Deadheads. They would go see the Dead. I mean,
Really?
Every one of them.
Really?
I went to see one show and I just didn't connect with it. I don't know why.
Yeah. Okay.
That was a live show. So got back. I thought that Garcia. Dang, this sounds terrible. I just guess I didn't connect to the way he played. Right at first. And man, it wasn't long before that changed. So I heard the Garcia band at the Fox.
Oh.
Shortly after, and I'm listening to him, and he's playing some stuff, and I'm like, whoa. This guy is magical.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know why it took off with the Garcia band. Of course, from there it exploded into the Grateful Dead and how he worked into those sort of that language with the Dead. And of course, so I guess the point is, I wasn't one of these people right out of the gate that thought, okay, I get this music. This is really something that I'm drawn to. It's not that I wasn't. It's just that as time went on, wow, I really became connected to the music and feel very strongly about what they're doing, how accomplished they are. The songwriting is genius. All the vocals are what, they are the real deal. They've got it all going on.
Yeah.
So that was the impetus for really starting to track the Dead. I love taking Bob Weir and isolating him and listening to what he does. It offers me some ideas for whenever I'm playing rhythm to maybe the keyboard player's leads, or when we've got a friend, hopefully that will be you here soon, sitting in.
God, I would love that so much.
So the focus would be obviously on that. So it's, gosh, it isn't music, it's just over the top cool.
Has the crowd that comes to Jake's Leg shows, has that changed over the years or stayed the same?
It has changed. Definitely an older, for the most part, an older group of people. We still get younger folks coming, but 20 North was known for being able to slip through the doors with a fake ID. So we had a very young contingency of people back in the 20 North days. But to your point, yes, as time has gone on, it's probably the people that started seeing us then, they grew along with the band. So we do see more of an adult, population coming to see the shows. Now we play the farm party. We used to do that annually out in Staunton. No, we haven't done that for a handful of years. And we would see kids, and everything from, little babies running around, not babies, but little 8-year-olds running around. Their folks are there, all the way up to, people that used to come see us way back in the day. And, what a gathering of folks that is. We did that annually for probably about 10 years.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
That's cool.
Gas station, Help on the Way. The more complicated stuff that they were doing. Back before then, it was a little bit more straightforward stuff. Still had, some really cool turnarounds, and it wasn't just 1-4-5 stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have grown in our in what we've added to the set list as far as more complex stuff that the Dead do, and it's been fun. Now lately, that answer is unfortunately a little different. We have not been working on any real new material. We're talking about it for the 50th. We're talking about doing either some stuff we haven't done for a long time, or putting some new stuff out there, which is exciting. So the band typically doesn't rehearse.
Yeah, right.
Every show is a bit of a rehearsal.
You're rehearsing at the show, and it's fresh and it's spontaneous.
That's right. Yeah.
Because isn't that part of the whole Grateful Dead music experience? Is it's spontaneous and improvised, and you don't know what's going to happen. And
you bet.
Yeah.
That's the real joy of it. You get out there on the limb, and it's like. Yeah.
Without a net.
Well done.
Right.
Yeah.
Is that how you guys played for a while? Not having a set list?
That's right. For a long time. Well, years. That was pretty much our MO.
How would you get then from song to song, and how did you know where you were going?
Well, we would call it out, right? One of us would say, let's do such and such, or let's go into this as we're up there on stage. It was very impromptu, which was good and healthy for our creativity. It's not like we sat at home and worked it all out. Let's go and play. We got out there, on a limb, and really pushed it. Thankfully, we knew the material well enough to be able to, for the most part, pull it off. We had some big mistakes. It happens. The Grateful Dead. They're
Sure. They were super sloppy.
Sometimes.
Sometimes they were.
But that was the wonderful thing about them, that people continued to just accept what was going on out there. And I think that for the most part, that's been the case with Jake's Leg.
Yeah.
I think that we, by design, we try and stay as much as we can in the narrow or not so narrow musical line. Let's try and sound like the Dead. It's important that we do that. That's why people are coming. However, over the years, and still to this day, that parallel musical line expanded, and now, to your point, we've sort of put our own spin on it. And I think a lot of that is due to crowd response, also wanting to not just completely plagiarize the Grateful Dead. If we tried to mimic it verbatim, that's just not fair to the people.
Yeah.
For sure. They want to, I think they want to hear our own interpretation.
Right.
For the most part, it works. Now, there's some times that we'll get out there and we'll try our best to do verbatim, a song. And it's fun doing that.
Yeah.
It really is, because that's more challenging. We don't get our chance just to, here's the format, let's spin off that. So whenever we're trying to do something very accurate and specific to the Grateful Dead song that we're working on, that's a whole nother experience.
Yeah.
Because we're really trying to follow their musical path. So.
Right. Well, then there's The Deal.
Yeah.
Is it The Deal or Deal?
The Deal, yeah.
The Deal. So how did it come about that you guys wanted to do The Deal? Is it just you and Randy?
No, Randy doesn't play it.
Oh, Randy isn't in The Deal.
No, the only Jake's Leg member is myself.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm just curious then, how did that come about?
Interestingly enough, the drummer that we had back years ago, who was with us, I wish I knew these timelines. He was with Jake's Leg for probably, 18, 20 years or so. Azad Bogosian.
Oh, yeah.
Great player.
Yeah.
Whenever we were kind of getting the ball rolling with that, it was kind of at this point, I'm not even sure why, Azad chose to he was very busy with his art, he's a genius artist, he's a painter. He decided he's going to step back, and so we brought in another drummer. That's been 20 years ago. And I miss Azad, and I love Ryan, our current drummer. He's a monster, he's just amazing. Azad and Ryan play very differently, and both are incredibly enjoyable to work with. So Azad said he was missing playing. He said, "Hey, Dave, would you want to put together a side band?" And I thought about it. I'm like, well, it would be good for me to play some other material, expand some of what I consider very, this is what I do, this is what I do. So it was an opportunity to sort of expand and play some other material. So Azza was the one that he pulled me in. Let's start a side band.
Very cool.
Yeah,
okay.
So we did. We've got some great players. Bill Engel is an incredible guitar player, singer. He's a songwriter. So he's in the mix. We've got, like I said, Azad playing the drums. We just hired a new keyboard player. He's so great, so great. Yeah.
Who is that?
His name is Chris. Oh man, he'll kill me if he doesn't. I don't know his last name.
Oh well, I won't put that in there.
Okay. Chris is his name.
Chris
Chris
on keyboards.
And then we've got Rick Romberg on the bass.
Okay.
So
were these guys that you knew already? When Oz came to you and you started putting together the band,
yes.
Did you pick people you already knew?
Yes,
okay.
Except for Chris.
Uh-huh.
Originally we had a keyboard player and he passed away. So that's whenever we plugged in Chris.
That's a
yeah. Gosh, I wish I could remember his last name. I think it's Chris Goddard.
Okay.
And he's so great.
Really?
Whenever you find these players that get in the collective and that you find out that, man, it's working. There's a real dialogue. We don't have to try real hard. The Deal doesn't play a lot. It's more just sort of an opportunity to play some other material, and to kind of, just have some fun with a different style of music. Now we do some Grateful Dead, but we do a lot of other stuff.
Yeah, I know that you guys really touch base on a lot of you touch a lot of bases.
Yeah.
We really wanted to come see you. I think it was Tim's Chrome Bar.
Yeah.
How was that place to play?
It's interesting. It's a really small venue. It might hold 80 people. I don't know. It's a kind of an interesting place.
Really?
Very nice people that run the show there, that own the venue. Yeah, it's a nice place to play.
Yeah. So do you think you filled it up, or?
The deal doesn't. I'm going to be very honest. There are nights when we have really strong crowds. There's other nights where it's not so much.
Okay.
I think some of it is we're terrible at marketing.
It's hard.
Jerry Garcia had his own voice on the guitar, so original, so the way he played, it could either be these incredibly clever runs, or it could be this straight ahead, sort of, rock's the wrong word, but I think that he appealed to such a wide group of people that was a big reason why he was at the center. I hope I'm not, dissing Bob Weir or any of the other. He was at the center of the Grateful Dead. He really was. Now, of course, all the other players were critical to the way the Dead played. But yeah, I think Jerry Garcia and who he was, his personality. I've seen several interviews with him, and he's just a clever guy. He's very well spoken, and which is really important. It's you don't have some kind of up there banging on his guitar. Part of what drew me to Garcia, again, we kind of talked a little bit about that before. I had friends in high school that said, "Man, the Dead, you have to come see it." I'm listening to Grand Funk Railroad, Black Sabbath. I'm like, Grateful Dead, they just dilly around. Within 1 year, I went to a show. I'm like, oh my God, I was off track there. So that's when it really took off. And you're right, Garcia. We've been talking about Jerry Garcia. He, the guy is an incredible genius. He's just an amazing player. There's a version of, I won't remember it.
Keep talking. I'm just gonna take a peek here. Yeah, everything's still rolling.
Okay.
Yeah, we're good.
I can't think of the name of it, but he's got this version out there where his guitar playing, Russian Lullaby. And it's just, that's a complicated song. You can probably blow through it because you're that good. I can't. Challenging song. He just flows like magic. I hear something like that, I'm like, this guy is so special. It's just amazing. And it seems like he's just flying, He has to be thinking about that. There has to be some thought process in there, because it's a complicated song. Love in the Afternoon, complicated piece. You hear some of his runs and his leads in that, it's just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, how's he doing that?
How is he doing that? And there's no other player. I don't care how deep you dig into the archives of different jazz players, different guitar players. Your Wes Montgomerys, your big players back then.
Do you think Jerry was thinking much about the audience of the Dead? Like, when I think back to, I read a little bit and look back into their history and stuff, and at some point they must have known that people were going to be okay, while they go off on a tangent. They had to not care too much about that.
I think you're right. We're going to do this. If the people like it, great. If they don't, this is our game.
Right. And then at some point they probably got the idea, well, I guess they like it.
Well, right.
Yeah. You guys always got a good response with your audience.
We're very fortunate. Yeah, they have. I think it's not that I don't think they felt sorry for us. We better play for these guys.
Yeah.
I think that it was a very authentic sort of dialogue between the band and the crowd. and that makes you feel good. You know, as a musician, when that's happening, that shared experience between the people and the musicians, that's special. I don't know of anything else out there that you could relate that to. You've got your doctors, well, they go and they deal with a patient. You've got this. Musicians and performing is something incredibly unique, as being a player. So we're lucky.
Yeah.
We're very fortunate to be a part of that.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a real quick story about Garcia. I was lucky enough to had a very good friend. He cooked for the Grateful Dead on different legs of the tour. So Midwest, he would cook for them.
Really?
He said, "Dave, you can come to a show with me. You don't need to help me cook or anything. Just come along." I said, "I would love to."
Wow.
So we get to the venue. I'm not going to remember. I think it was in Kansas City. I don't remember the venue. So he let me come along.
Oh my God.
So we get there, and so we get to the main bunch of people that run the show. Well, this guy's gonna be kind of with me. He's gonna be assisting me on cooking, which I wasn't. I was just there to have fun. So check this out. It's during the day. My friend is starting to prepare the meals, which Jerry Garcia had some very specific dietary stuff, so he would always work up Jerry's stuff. So I talked to the one guy who's running the whole show there, and I said, "Would you mind if I just walked out and just on the stage just to kind of get a feeling for the seating and stuff?" Of course, the venue's empty. So I go out there, and I'm sitting at about the I don't know, 20th row, and I sit down dead center. Like, this is the stage empty. I nod off. I fall asleep. I was there for a while. So all of a sudden, I hear Garcia tinkering.
Oh.
And I look up, and it's just him.
Oh.
Just him up there. And so he's starting to sound check his guitar.
Oh my God.
And it was just me and I. So I got this wow. I don't even know if he saw me. He probably did. But he started off kind of, a little clinkety clink. I'm like, and then gradually over the course of 15 minutes or so, he had that thing dialed in, and I'm thinking, I'm sitting here,
private
show with my hero.
Yeah.
It was pretty incredible.
You didn't have your camera.
I didn't. Back then there weren't cell phones.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Did you ever photograph? Dave Casper of Jake's Leg and The Deal, thank you so much for talking to me today about Grateful Dead and Jake's Leg and the music. Thank you.
You got it. It's been my pleasure. Great talking with you.
You too.
I love it.
Thanks.
Perfect. Yeah,
Okay.
You bet.
All right. So once again, our show is at Old Rock House, February 6th. That's Hardbop Messengers playing the music of Grateful Dead. Thanks for watching.